Welcome to a quick Algebra 2 mini lesson. Despite how we might feel about math, perhaps we might like it, or perhaps we might not like it, it's something that's very important and crucial. And just like that, I'd like to introduce you to the mini lesson on geometric sequences. So a geometric sequence is a sequence in which the ratio between any two terms is kept constant. So what that typically means is that as the sequence progresses, there's a constant rate that the sequence keeps increasing or decreasing by. So before we dive more into depth into like the definition of a geometric sequence, I'd like to introduce to you the geometric sequence formula, which is a sub n is equal to a sub 1 times r to the n minus 1 power. It's also important to note that a sub n represents the desired term that we're looking for, a sub 1 is the first term of the sequence, and r is the common ratio that the sequence increases or decreases by. Alright, so let's apply what we have just learned into our first problem to find a sub 5 in our sequence. So we're presented with the first term, 1, the second term, 6, the third term, 36, and the fourth, 216. So when they say find a sub 5, we want to find the next term after 216. So before we do that, before we use our formula to solve for the a sub 5, we're going to have to find the common ratio that the sequence increases by. As we can see that like 1 turns to 6, 6 turns to 36, and 36 turns into 216. So that's what we want to find first. And a sub 1, so that's what I did right here. So I divided a sub 2, which is 6, and a sub 1, which is 1. And we got 6, which is our common ratio. So what we want to do next is we want to put in all the information into our formula. So our formula, which is, I'm running out of ink. A sub n is equal to a sub 1 times r to the n minus 1 power. So we want to find a sub 5. So substitute a sub n with a sub 5. And a sub 1 is already given to us. It's 1 times r, our common ratio, which is 6, and n, which is 5, minus 1. Alright, so what we want to do next is we want to subtract 5 minus 1. So, it's 5, 1 times 6 to the 4th power. So, a sub 5 is equal to 1,296. So what we did there was we found 6 to the 4th power, and which was 1,296, and we multiplied it times 1, and we got our answer. a sub 5 is equal to 1,296. So that is how you find a sub 5. For our second problem, we're going to switch things up a bit. Instead, we're going to use fractions. So we want to find, first again, we want to find the common ratio. So we are going to divide 2 over 16, which is our second term, divided by our first term, which is 1/4. So instead of like dividing, we're going to like flip 1 over 4 into 4 over 1. And instead of dividing, we're going to multiply 4 over 1 times 2 over 16. So 4 becomes 1, and 16 becomes 4. So we're just going to quickly multiply 1 times 2 is equal to 2. 1 times 4 is equal to 4. So we're going to get the common ratio of 2 over 4. That's our common ratio, 2 over 4. So what we're going to do now is we're going to again put the information into the geometric sequence formula. So a sub 5 is equal to, parentheses, 1 over 4 times 2 over 4, parentheses, to the 5 minus 1. Once we plug all of our information into the formula, we will have to divide 1/4 times 2 over 4, which will yet again give us 2 over 4. And we're going to have to bring down the 5 minus 1 and make it an exponent of 2 over 4. So we're going to transform 2 over 4 to the 5 minus 1 power into 2 to the 4th power, because 5 minus 1 is equal to 4, and to over 4 to the 3rd power. So in order to solve this, we're going to have to simplify each of these exponents. So 2 to the 4th power is 16, and 4 to the 3rd power will give us 1,024. So 16 over 1,024 is our 5th term. So for our final question, we're going to make things a bit more challenging. Instead of finding the next term, we will be finding the 20th term of the sequence that we've been given. And we're still using fractions. And let us note also that some of the terms in the sequence are either negative or positive. So we will begin by finding the common ratio. So our second term will be divided by the first term. So 1/4 divided by negative 1/2. So we will get negative 1 over 2, negative 1/2. You can always check. You don't always have to divide the second term by the first term. You could also do divide the third term with the second term, or you could, you get the point. So what I'm trying to explain is, alright, so negative 1/8 divided by our second term, 1 over 4, will give us, again, negative 1 over 2. You'll get the same thing. Alright, so let's plug in all the information that we have so far into our geometric sequence formula. So, a sub 20 will be equal to negative 1/2 times our common ratio, negative 1/2, to the 20 minus 1 power. Alright, so we plugged everything. So right now we are going to multiply negative 1/2 times negative 1/2, which will give you 1 over 20 to the 20th power. And that will be your answer. If you plug this into your calculator or graphing calculator, you will have your answer. Alright everyone, thank you for tuning in into the mini lesson about geometric sequences. I wish you the best of luck in your math careers, and always remember that practice makes perfect. If you're not good at math, practice it, man. It helps out.